Yeah, so this is DOA 5 last round. Um, I own every version of this game. I don't know if I've told you that.
Yeah, how many? What is this?
The third
That are
version of DOA 5.
and then what were the other two versions?
Well, DOA 5.
Just DOA. Right.
Okay, and this is not counting arcade releases.
Right.
In all honest, okay, so because that would just be, I mean, in fairness, like Japan is insane with arcade releases. Like they'll do like, oh, this is DOA 5 R plus. This is R plus 6. Like shit like that. So I mean Tetris. It was big in the speedrunning community recently, like the Tetris the Grandmasters. Um, it's like Tetris the Grandmaster 2. There's three versions of. It's like 2, 2 plus, and 2 plus death. And it's like but that's like the arcade.
So then, what's different here with last round?
Okay, so I bitched about this in the forums today a little bit, and I'll talk about it now too. So between 5 and Ultimate, there were new characters. There were some tweaks. I think there was like a new mode. It sort of felt like the difference between Street Fighter and Super Street Fighter.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense. Like,
yeah.
At that point, you were like, yeah, I mean, I guess you can have some more of my money. This literally feels like a collection of, like a costume collection. Like,
the definitive version.
No. No.
So there's like more DLC with costumes or something though, right?
Yes, there is still more costumes that you can buy. I think there's $100 pack that gets you almost all of the other costumes.
$100.
Almost all of the costumes. Yeah. Well, there are ridiculous costumes that you can get. Some of the girls for their Christmas outfits are them barely wrapped in ribbon. Yeah. I mean,
they're getting creative with
the cost. Yes, but here's my problem, is that I think Street Fighter, like, they sell. I don't know if Street Fighter sells characters individually for costume packs, and when they do, it's normally like, well, here's like 3 costumes for Blanca, and like some for, like, like here's the costumes for these guys, and they'll give you like a bunch of stuff, and then they'll be like, it's $15, and you'll get like a bunch of like 15 to 20 plus costumes for $15. So like if you do the math and you buy them in bulk, it's normally under $1 a costume. Mm-hmm. They're charging $2+ a costume for this if you buy them individually.
So is that DOA? So let's avoiding the costumes. I mean, how is it as a fighter?
It's pretty competent. At this point, most of the people that you're going to play in Virtual Fighter are in this. And that's, as a fighter, as a game, that's one of my biggest complaints, honestly. I think it's Sarah is in this, and she was a Virtual Fighter character. You can very clearly hear that all of her audio was recorded for Virtual Fighter 5. And Virtual Fighter 5 came out in... that was a launch PS3 game.
Yeah, I mean, Dead or Alive's been around forever. Obviously, they're on the 5th iteration, but...
Dead or Alive 4, just a contemporary of Virtual Fighter 5, was Dead or Alive 4. It came out the year before 5. There have been some rebalances and retweaks of 5, but I mean, like, I'm gonna say 5 came out in 2006 for the PS3.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, it was a launch PS3 title.
Jeez.
No, for Virtua Fighter.
Yeah,
So for Virtua Fighter.
Oh, yeah. I think you're right.
And well, here's the problem: is that they are using sound files from DOA from Virtua Fighter 5 in this, and I don't know if everything back then was recorded in a lower bit rate, or like that entire game was, or if they lost all of like the master audio or something.
Yeah.
But like when you're playing as some of those characters, randomly they'll say something and it sounds like it was recorded in an echo chamber, or like with really low grade equipment, or just it's not, and it's so weird because like you'll hear the taunts and like the rest of the stuff in the fight, and like even crowd sounds sometimes that sounds so much better than the Virtua Fighter stuff, and it's just like, what the fuck is going on? And it's funny because so like for Virtua Fighter, Virtua Fighter has always been like this super deep game. Every character's fighting style is based on a real life fighting style. You don't like there is a fighting style in real life that like that's the way that it works with Virtua Fighter. So like that shit's always been kind of like significantly deeper. Let's see if this freezes on me right here. Oh,
I heard this is pretty buggy.
Yeah, so
I was actually reading tweets from the developers today, and they're like, to get the game not to freeze, don't hit like save at this menu. And
you have to turn off fight. So normally this looks for a challenger. Like people could normally challenge me to a fight while I'm playing, and you have to turn that off in arcade mode, so that doesn't fucking happen. And you can.
So, but will the game has freezing issues or something?
It freezes. It like soft locks, if that makes sense. Like
yeah.
A soft lock is you just can't get out of it without like rebooting the system, without rebooting the game.
Yeah.
So you have to go back to the core menu. And this chick's bikini is a bikini like a bikini with fucking hands over her tits. So that's fantastic. So Virtua Fighter, like that style is like deeper, and it's kind of funny because one of the Virtua Fighter characters appears in the story, and one of your characters is doing a kata. And so in most fighting games, you can watch the characters do their katas, and it's just like, this is how much effort we put into, figuring this stuff out. We've developed katas for how they'd fight in real life. Well, Virtua Fighter, it's not that hard because, like, all you do is actually program in the real kata, the move set. And it's funny because they go back and forth between two characters, and the DOA one just looks so sloppy compared to the Virtua Fighter one. And, like, all that is basically imported from a, like, damn near 10-year-old game with probably up-res graphics and, like, a little polish on the models. And it's like, wow, and that still looks so much better than whatever little dancey moves you made her do.
Is last round a full retail $50, $60 game?
So, kind of. It's $40.
And when all is said and done, this is the definitive version of DOA 5, though.
Yes. They are not selling it.
You get the most stuff.
Yeah, they are not selling it on the. I don't think they're selling it on the PS3 or the Xbox 360. If you own Ultimate on those two systems, it is upgraded for free to last round. Which I didn't even know until.
I did not know that either.
I didn't even know that until I literally. You can import your save file, which the only reason I cared about that is because I beat the game. And so if I wanted to show off some of the ridiculousness of the fucking story, the story makes no fucking sense in this.
Well, all makes, fighting games,
no. Take a Tekken story, which makes less sense than most fighting games. This makes a Tekken story look fucking like that shit. It is well thought out and masterful, and like that's like that episode of Star Trek where he lands on that planet and they only need that one story to communicate with all of society. That's what this makes Tekken look like. It's fucking. This story is fucking nonsense. I've played through this story now 3 fucking times. When it came out for DOA Ultimate and this, and it never has made sense. Like, shit happens, other shit happens, the game ends.
I'm sure they just put a lot of their effort into, the jigglies and new costumes versus, storyline they don't really give a shit about.
Well,
because they don't have to.
They try to get creative with the storyline too, which is great. Like the way that it's told, like it jumps around a lot, and so like you just follow like what one character is doing, like you follow their arc. But the problem is there's no transition, so it's not like, oh, and then like, Hitomi went to Antarctica. It's just like a few days later, Antarctica. And it's like, she just runs at someone and says, like, what are you doing here? Let's fight. And it's like, what? You're in Antarctica! What are you doing there?
It's like the only 2 people in Antarctica, and there's a fight to the death.
That's the worst part, is there's more! There are a lot of people in Antarctica at that exact moment.
Sure.
And it's like, the worst part is that one person that they're fighting is like the one guy who has any reason to be there at that moment. And everyone's like, why are you here? And it's like, I'm the only person who should be here. None of you are dressed for Antarctica. You all are in skimpy outfits. How are you not getting frostbite as we speak? It's pretty fantastic. So you can change the breast physics as you go in the game.
There's an option for that.
Slider. There's not a slider, but it's the option is like natural. You can unlock. Oh my god. What is it? Ultimate. Which was like the mode in DOA Ultimate, last round, and I think there's like another one that you can unlock. So right now I have it on last round because we're playing DOA last round.
I never got into the DOA series. Am I a bad person for that?
Absolutely not.
So what do you think is better, like DOA, Tekken? Out of like all these, Virtua Fighter, what do you think is like, if you had to pick one game to play that you think is the best fighter? What do you? You got Street Fighter, Killer Instinct, Mortal Kombat, DOA. Like, would you say
I like Virtua Fighter the best. A lot of people will argue with me on that.
And why is that? Because they just have the tightest play control, like the fighting style.
Yes, I definitely think that Virtua Fighter is like the most well balanced. I just like the way it plays. I like the way it feels.
Do you think it's more technical than DOA?
Yeah.
What do you think's more technical, like Virtua Fighter, DOA, or like Tekken?
I think Virtual Fighter is probably the most technical. The learning curve is pretty harsh.
Yeah, because there was I think it was like I think it was Virtua Fighter 4 that was on PS2, and it was like it got great reviews. Or was that 3?
They 3 and 4 were, and they was it they was 3. It basically from whatever the first one, I think it was 3.
Maybe it was 3, yeah.
The game hasn't. The complaints about it is the game hasn't, aside from adding characters and changing the single player, the game hasn't really super evolved since the first PS2 version.
Yeah.
It still plays the same.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a lot of what the complaint is about Virtua Fighter. And
then you get DOA like last round, where it's just like, just here, buy this game again.
Well, we
added a few new costumes, big deal.
Yeah, well, I never bought any of the costumes. So, it's kind of funny because I was, showing a friend, a friend of mine saw my tweet, and he's, resisting urge to buy DOA. And I'm like, dude, it's just a costume pack. He's like, what's your fucking point?
I can care less about a costume pack. If the game isn't fun to begin with, I'm not going to play it. I'm not going to see the costumes.
I like DOA. It is the least serious of the fighting games.
Yeah, this just having the ridiculous story and these ridiculous costumes and everything. It's Team Ninja, which over the top everything.
There's definitely a depth there if you want there to be one. But for me, it's kind of like
you can get by button mashing.
You can definitely get by. I mean, right now I'm playing on the easiest difficulty because I'm unlocking costumes. Yeah. I imported my save, and that for a bunch of the characters unlocked a ton of costumes. But right now, there's still more costumes to unlock that are new in this one. So you just basically go through the arcade mode again and again and again with a character. And, some of the characters have 30 fucking costumes. And so basically, every time to unlock a costume, you have to go through the arcade mode. So, I'm going through the arcade mode right now to unlock the costumes I haven't unlocked.
Don't you think that's grindy, though? Just, kind of keep playing the arcade mode just to unlock some costumes, easy?
Here's the thing. The arcade mode, normally what'll happen is you'll play the arcade mode while you're looking for someone to play online.
Oh.
It'll auto-search for someone to play online.
Yeah, that's a cool feature.
So, while you're most fighters do that now. Most fighters are just play the single player while you're waiting for someone online. You're not going to have to sit in the lobby.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a good idea.
You just tell us what you want and we'll look for you. And it's annoying sometimes because you'll be in the middle of a match. You'll find someone, you'll play that match, you'll get back to the match. Well, you have to start all over again, and it's well, yeah, of course I do. And then, you'll get back into the match, and then, all of a sudden it's oh, we found someone, and it's oh. It's I'm never gonna finish this fucking match.
Right. But you can shut that off, though.
You can, but, I mean, for the most part, at that point, you're playing arcade mode to kill time to find someone online to play against. Right. Except for right now, that fucking you can't
doesn't work.
Yeah, or you can do that if you want the game to freeze. Oh, also, I don't think that fucking online works.
What? So we can even talk about. I mean, here's another broken game at launch.
Oh, here's something even better. It's a broken game at launch that worked last time. and it's the same fucking game.
Yeah, right. That was my next thing that I was confused about. I was like, well, the last DOA 5, like, were there problems with that? I mean, what's the...
No, I had that the day it came out.
What is the difference then? I mean, you think it would be like running on the same like net code? I don't know, but you would make these assumptions.
My guess, honestly, is probably it's an issue with the Xbox One. Because the Xbox One does hosted shit.
You're playing it on PS4 and you're having problems, no?
Well, yeah, but it released on everything, so they probably tried to balance it and like fucked up code I don't know. And it's like freezing and shit, and it's like, from what I understand about the freezing, is it's freezing on every system. And not only that, this was supposed to be the definitive, like, the PS4 was the version that everyone was, like, it was being shown on almost exclusively.
Oh.
So, I mean, it's a Japanese publisher, so that's not really a huge surprise.
Yeah, you're right, yeah. But still, the game is having problems, and the game is out. Here it's just this is a good example. I mean, we've been having all these Western developers, launch bad games.
And that's after a day one patch, by the way.
Exactly. Halo, SimCity, Diablo, you name it. Here is now a Japanese developer releasing a game that's having severe problems at launch.
And here's something even better. They had a perfect, say you owned a DOA fucking 5 Ultimate, you were able to play DOA 5 Ultimate with other people online who had DOA 5 Ultimate until they turned it into last round. Now you can't.
What the hell did they do? That's messed up. You think they would just be like adding content versus... Well,
they did. They added content, but unfortunately the content they added fucking changed everything, like disabled so much for everyone else.
I guess, yeah, it must have. I mean, that is still frustrating. But at the same time, I guess it's kind of okay that a Japanese developer now is still having these problems, because maybe it's just like a new gen thing that everybody's...
Where have we been? We're online every Wednesday. Every Wednesday we're online. Every Wednesday we're online. Granted, all of the other streams that I normally do have not been online, to answer one of the people in the comments. But, that's for various other reasons. But we are normally online on Wednesdays.
Wednesday evenings.
Yep. And, now we're just fucking bitching about DOA fucking being broken. Although I do...
It's like a, DOA 5.5. It's broken at launch. They're still charging $1 million for DLC, for costume packs and stuff.
I thought DOA Ultimate was 5.5.
Yeah, well then
this would be like
5.7?
No, this would be like 5.55.
Right. I mean, where's it going to end?
Well, there are new characters. You did get new characters. One of the things that I do like about it is that the game is pretty much a virtual fighter at this point. Like, your core virtual fighters are just in the game at this point. So if you wanted to play a new virtual fighter, it's kind of here.
When was the last virtual fighter game?
Not that long ago.
I've given up on the Virtual Fighter series. I've never got it.
Late 2012 was the last Virtual Fighter. So I mean, that's it sounds like it was that long ago, but 2 years is not that long in fighting games.
No, not at all. I mean, you look at Street Fighter; they just released like another Street Fighter 4.
Yeah. Also, you kind of don't want to be DOA and like release fucking a new one all the fucking time.
I mean, people have to be buying this crap if...
Well, okay, so I'm at fault there.
Yeah, you're part of the problem.
Okay, and here's kind of why I bought this. It was $40, so it's inexpensive, and it was on the PS4, and it's a fighting game. and there's
There's
nothing.
no fighting game. Yeah.
Well, there's Guilty Gear Xrd, but
yes, which just recently came out too.
But yeah, and you could have gotten that for $24 over the weekend, but I was broke over the weekend and I couldn't have picked it up. And I had pre-ordered this fucking in December, so like this was already coming.
Oh, was there?
Well, yeah. Also like I didn't buy anything over the weekend because like I'm getting a ton of other like game related stuff, and I'm like, I don't want my wife to kill me. Yeah. So considering that I'm probably picking up a new 3DS as soon as they exist in reality.
Yeah, I'm surprised the new 3DSs have been sold out. I mean,
the new
they were all over the place.
Well, when the new Vita came out, it was sold out for over a month.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be back in stock.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm not gonna fuck that up. I mean,
I don't.
That's where Nintendo's making their money right now, is on the 3DS.
Yeah, I don't think they're trying to pull what they're doing with the amiibos and the fucking adapters. Which is, do you want to tell your story about the adapter?
Yeah, it's so fucking frustrating. So, GameStop yesterday sends out an email. I got it right at about like noon, Central Time here. So my time, I got it at noon, and they kind of like hid it in the email. You had to scroll all the way down to the bottom, and it was the bottom ad. And they're like, "Oh, hey, we're going to be getting more GameCube adapters in. Pre-order yours now." So I saw that, and I was like, "Holy shit! I'm going to drive on my way home from work."
You didn't do a drive-by?
I'm going to stop by on my way home from work and pre-order this thing because I really fucking want one. So I go to GameStop. I'm like, "Yeah, I heard you guys are taking pre-orders again for GameCube adapters." And the dude behind the counter's like, "We are?" Like he didn't even know about it. And I was like, well, in a way, that's a good sign because no one else has been asking for it, which means more pre-order for me. So the dude, goes to the computer, types in his shit, and he's like, "Oh, I guess we're only taking pre-orders for the GameCube adapter with the one controller for $50. I'm like, "No, I just want the goddamn GameCube adapter for $20. I don't need any more. I have like 6.
Oh, they were gonna make you buy the controller too?
Yes, that's what their fucking pre-order was. And like, I'm like, no, dude, I don't fucking want to spend $30 on a controller that I absolutely do not need.
No.
I think I have 4 Wavebirds, and I think I have like.
Wait, was it an official bundle or was it a games?
No,
okay.
It was the official like bundle with the Smash Brothers. It comes in like a big fucking box. It comes in like the blue.
Well, I was wondering if they were doing the. Like, oh, it's like an unofficial bundle that we're putting together. Like Best Buy did.
Right? Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking. I think this is an official.
Okay.
This is how Nintendo wants to do it because they want to just sell an extra controller with it. Because why not? They know people are going to buy this shit.
I probably wouldn't argue because the other guy that I do a podcast with, Stark. Like, I was talking and I'm like, I can't find my GameCube controllers, and he's like, bullshit, I know exactly where they are in your house. Because, like, he helped me move, and, like, he comes over here occasionally to do laundry because it's free, and he's like, bullshit, next time I come over, I'll drink with you, I'll fucking find the controller, it'll be, like, no problem, you don't have to buy another one. And I'm like, dude, I'm telling you, I don't know where they are. And he's like, I got this. And he comes over, and like by then I'd already bought another controller, and he's making fun of me, and he like goes downstairs, he's like, I know exactly where it is. He comes up like half an hour, 45 minutes later, he's like, can't find your fucking GameCube controllers, what the fuck? And I'm like, I know!
Well, he's like, I should have pre-ordered the fucking GameCube adapter bundle, controller bundle, and gave you the controller. That I could have just taken the fucking adapter.
Well, no, because I want an adapter.
Yeah, I mean, you could have pre-ordered your adapter, and I could have just, gave you my extra controller.
Yeah, there you go.
Fuck. It's so frustrating. It's like, here's $20. I have a $20 bill in my hand. Let me give you this, and you give me an adapter.
Oh, dude, fucking.
It's the same fucking thing with the amiibos. It's so out of fucking control. Nintendo, what are they doing? They're just creating this drought, and it's just making people nuts.
Hey, do you want an amiibo? I don't know, like one of the cool characters? Oh, we have a
no.
Samus. I already have a Samus. Oh,
We got
then
Kirby.
no. Yeah, Kirby's not a cool character though.
Yeah, we got Link. You got a Link. Yeah, everybody has like 4 Links by now.
Yeah, well, is it a Toon Link? No, no one has Toon
just
Links.
regular Link. Yep, regular.
Like, do you know how many times I've almost broken down and just gotten the regular Link for no reason?
Alls I want is an Ike. I just want the Fire Emblem characters, basically.
Oh, you'll never see them.
Yeah, and Ike is gone. I mean, in there, it's kind of funny too because the Project Steam 3DS game. If you look at all the ads, you're like, oh yeah, amiibo in all the Fire Emblem characters because it's made by Intelligent Systems, who made the Fire Emblem games. And
Oh yeah, good luck fucking doing that.
yeah, and it's like, well, nobody's going to be taking advantage of this feature because they don't fucking make Ike and Marth amiibos.
Yeah. Also, by the time that none of the people who own those are actually going to like fucking play that game,
Yeah, they're going to keep it in the package and they're just eBaying on all that shit.
or they're just such hardcore Smash players that like it's like never fucking leaving their site.
Right, exactly. It's so frustrating. I mean, it's so out of control. And then like I follow a bunch of Twitter feeds and stuff, and they're like, oh, Target's got amiibos in right now. Ike's in right now. And then like you see another Twitter post 3, maybe 4 minutes later, sold out. Like it takes literally.
Well, yeah,
sold
because
out.
it's like probably an employee that's like, how many do we have? 10? Okay, here's $140.
Yep. And it's not, it's one person buying a dozen of them or multiple,
Because
versus,
they know they can go right on eBay and sell them.
they could go right on eBay. It's all a fucking game, and it's pissing me off. I legitimately want an Ike because I like Ike and Marth, and I want to, get, if I get Project Steam, I'd like to take advantage of that feature, but that's not going to be happening.
Yeah, like it's kind of like well, what the thing is, they'll probably at some point Nintendo, like, I believe their supply chain thing. I believe them saying with the like adapter, I believe them saying like that was supposed to be a 6-month supply. We didn't think people were going to go that crazy.
Yeah.
We're making more, but we did like but the way production works, you can't like by the time these will be like you can't speed up production to fucking like suit the need without like risking way more kind of thing.
I just hope, they're making more GameCube adapters, which I posted on Mygamer like a month ago, and now it's becoming true, which is good to see.
And supposedly, I mean, I've heard rumors that like they are attempting to continue to make amiibos of all of the characters.
Their answer to that is, instead of making amiibos, here's an amiibo card.
What?
Which is, you didn't hear about that?
No.
So Nintendo was like, well, if you can't get your favorite amiibo, we're going to provide amiibo in card format. So instead of scanning like a cool action figure, you scan a fucking like player, like a card, like a hearts, like a playing card, you scan it in, like, so that's Nintendo's answer for the amiibo shortage. Like, well, sorry, we kind of fucked up. We didn't know the demand was going to be like this. So instead of making figures again, which are costly, we're just going to print cards that you can scan in.
Well, and like, I'm just kind of
I'm not collecting cards. I'm telling you that right now. I'm not buying the goddamn cards.
Didn't they say that they were going to make more amiibos? That it wasn't going to. At one point, didn't they say it wasn't going to be a limited edition anything on them? Except like they would say, and I don't know if it's this way with that character, but they might have actually used this as an example, but I don't know if it's true. Like they might say, "Oh, we're doing a limited run of like a gold Mario."
Right, that I can understand, but not like fucking Marth and Ike and DDD. Like when I was talking originally, I guess what the whole breakdown is Nintendo was like, well, we got these amiibos coming out. However, we are very limited on shelf space because Skylanders and Disney Infinity own all the shelf space. There's like literally an aisle at like Target and Toys R Us and these stores. There's a ton.
Yeah, because you have to pay at big box stores like that. You literally have to pay for end caps.
Exactly. So Nintendo's like, instead of having a fucking aisle, we only get like an eighth of an aisle. So we can't release all these figures at once because we just don't have that shelf space. So we're going to do it in waves.
Unless they prove to be popular enough like they have, and then they can get more shelf space.
I'm curious to see now that the Amiibos are out. How has that affected the sales of Disney Infinity and Skylanders? Like, are people, not buying these figures anymore when Amiibos are now available? And it'll be interesting to see, give it another 6 months or something and see if there's going to be a kind of a swing or something like that. But at the same time, Nintendo just might say, well, fuck it, that was it. That was our run. We're not making more of these, unless they make like Amiibo 2.0, which you can save multiple Smash files with and multiple games with, and there'll be like points of articulation on the figures or something. You never know.
Well, but, they've already done something like this before with a Pokemon game.
What do you mean?
There was a Pokemon game with a near field communication function that you could buy Pokemon for.
Oh, yeah.
That you can no longer buy the Pokemon for.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Amiibo success, it's going to be hard for them to ignore it. And they're like, look, we got a bunch of characters that people are really hungry for. Let's just give them more Amiibo-like shit and they'll buy it. So, if anything, they might use this first round of all Amiibos to test the waters. But, it's only a matter of time. Give it another 1-2 years and like Amiibo 2.0 will come out and they'll be... collect them all over again, and there's going to be, like I said, points of articulation, more like an action figure versus just like a statue.
Look, I just want them to scan in. If they do the same fucking thing, then I could not care less. In all honesty,
I just want the figures that I fucking want. Like, I hate I go to GameStop yesterday when I was, you got GameCube adapters? No. Hey, can I get a Shulk? No. Can I get any other character that I give a shit about? No.
Oh, but do you want a Mario? No, I don't want a fucking Mario!
Nobody wants Mario. Nobody wants Luigi.
Do you know how shit... Actually, a lot of fucking people want Luigi. Luigi is supposedly relatively hard to find.
No, I've seen Luigi.
I've seen him all over the place, but...
All over.
But supposedly, if the internet is to be believed, he's fucking kind of hard to find. I guess he's huge in Middle America.
I guess. Either way, it's...
Year of Luigi, big for Luigi.
Frustrating. You're never going to see a Lucario. You're never going to see a Rosalina. You're never going to see a Meta Knight. You're never going to see a Shulk. You're never going to see a DDD, Ike, Marth. You're never going to see a
not even that great of a character.
No, but they only make, 4 of them, and DDD is going to be super rare. And people just buy it, not that they're going to play with it, just because they're going to keep it in the box and they're going to put it on eBay and they're just going to resell it for double, triple, quadruple the price.
So
that's all this game is.
So the one good thing about Skylanders is that they actually activate inside of the box. Like, you don't have to open the box. But
Nintendo was smart about that.
Yeah, you have to open the box to activate these. I tried activating them without opening the box, and instantly the first thing I was like, fuck you, Nintendo. Like, instantly was just like, you guys are dicks.
They probably learned their lesson from the Skylanders, because if you think about it, like, you can just, why open this, because it's just going to create more of a craze if you can just play with it and use it.
Yeah, but I don't know.
This guy's got a Tech Mobile uniform. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, some of the costumes are actually pretty funny, but it's like, that's not $2 funny for someone that...
I appreciate that they're acknowledging...
Well, no, exactly, and it's like one of those things that it's like, if that was an outfit that was just part of the game naturally, you would probably be like, if I end up with Leon, I'm probably going to pick the Tecmo Bowl outfit.
Exactly.
But as it is, it's like, well, I have to pay $2 for that? I guess I'm never fucking seeing it ever.
I think Tecmo Bowl is the greatest football game ever made. And what's even more funny about that is Tecmo Bowl, a Japanese company making the American football game. Like,
didn't it not have enough players on the field, though?
No, I mean, it wasn't like... there's Tecmo Bowl on Nintendo, there's Super Tecmo Bowl on Super Nintendo... Or no, not on Super Nintendo, it was actually on original Nintendo, and then there's even like the Game Boy port version, but... it was just kind of like chess. Like, you just pick a play, and then if your opponent picks that same defensive play, then they just, sack you right away. But so it was more like chess than an actual reaction-based football game. But I loved it. I think it's a great game. But good to see they
paying homage to their
exactly. Like, they didn't have to do that, but they did.
Yeah, but it's like...
It's a nice touch. But yeah, if it's part of the game, great. But I'm not paying $2 for it. They can go fuck themselves then.
Yeah, and it's also... But it's also, like, easy to get people... Like, it's easy fucking goodwill if you, like, acknowledge, like... oh, we made Tecmo Bowl at one point.
Right. And because there's even Tecmo Bowl returns, I think it was, on XBLA, so it's kind of just free advertising for them. It might get somebody interested in it, and maybe buy a really old game. You never know, but. So yeah, DOA 5. How about that? I mean, this is why I just kind of gave up on this. That I never got into the series, because it's just to me it's just visual effects. I don't think it's that fun of a fighter.
I think it's a pretty decent fighter. I think that it pretty much it has the depth if you want to get into it, but the problem is that if you're looking for depth, at the point that you start looking for something rather deep, you should probably start going someplace else.
Yeah, exactly. Right. That's a great.
But it's a good, I have a couple people over and we want to play a fucking fighting game.
Yeah. I would play this, I wouldn't play through the campaign more than 2-3 times, and then, give it a couple rounds online. I get slaughtered because I don't know what the fuck is going on, but I would give it a shot, but then it'd be well, I'm done. I don't need to play this anymore after spending, 1-2 hours with it, then I would call it a day.
Oh, yeah, and I've probably, total in this game, I've probably put maybe 20 hours in.
Yeah.
But that's over the course of maybe
everything.
4 years now.
Right.
And that's DOA 5.
You never get the urge, yeah, you know what, I really need to go play some DOA right now.
Well,
that never...
No.
Me.
No, and normally, what happens is they start releasing all of the costume packs. The first fucking, huge edition costume pack comes out, I get disgusted by it, and then stop playing it.
Right.
I think last time there was a $45 everything together costume pack, and it was one costume for every character or something, and I was just and they're by buying this you save $5, and I'm done.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, this is I'm not a big fighting game guy anyway, so I would give it a shot. I'm not going to stick with it. I think I prefer the Killer Instincts and the Mortal Kombats of the world, and Street Fighter 2, but for me it's not going to hold my attention for long.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's kind of funny because those Mortal Kombat's sort of a scrubby game, and Street Fighter 2.
And I'm talking about the reboot of Mortal Kombat, the latest, just straight name.
That's still a really fucking scrubby game too.
Yeah, it's more entertaining, and I'm curious to see what they're going to do with this next release, which I think is coming out this year.
Yeah, soon. It's kind of funny. I believe Mortal Kombat MK was that MK9.
Well, yeah, this is MKX or 10.
Yeah, so when 9 came out, there were straight-up characters that were banned in tournaments.
Really?
Oh, yeah. There were a couple characters
I never followed it that closely.
Well, I follow Evo and
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
and
Who was banned in Mortal Kombat?
I forget. It was one of the more popular characters. They basically had an infinite combo.
Was it more than one character?
There was at least one that was straight up banned, and then there was like soft bans that
you can't play him in this mode or something.
Well, no, it was well. First off, it's only versus, so there's only one mode. But it's like one of them was like straight up banned until they released a patch, and then there was like a soft ban that it was like you can play as them, but it's like considered like
you're going to be labeled a dick.
Yeah, it was like basically like it's bad form to play as them.
You're being an asshole.
It's actually kind of funny because every time that I see that Mortal Kombat ended up in Evo, I'm like, I wonder how much money they paid.
Yeah. Well, you never. I mean, with Mortal Kombat 10 or X, however you want to say it, that'll be the next. I think big fighting game. I think early previews have been pretty positive, and at the same time, like look at Killer Instinct. An Xbox One launch game. They're still releasing characters and stuff for that all the time. I mean, it's a weird.
That game sucks.
It's a really weird business model because it's like the free to play where you just get like the one character, but then you got to like buy all these other characters to do like anything really else in the game.
I actually play that. It's on my system. I do not like it at all.
Really? I played a little bit of it. It was really the only thing that caught my attention at launch, and I played it at a friend's house. I don't own it myself, no, but we played it for an hour or two, and I liked it. And I was always a fan of the Killer Instinct series. I like the combo. You don't really have to know what's going on. You just kind of button mash, and you have a lot of fun.
Well, no, exactly. That's kind of what I think you're. I think it's like if that's what you want, fine. But like, I just don't think it's anything more than like a button masher.
Yeah, I think for me, because I'm not a big fighting game guy, I can do really cool shit without even really knowing what. I mean, you kind of get an idea, especially after you play for a little while, you start to pick up on some things, but like, it's not that technical. So it's like, a dope like me can win, versus like you play a technical game like here, Dead or Alive, I get killed because I don't know what the hell's going on. Tekken even, I don't know what's going on. Like you get super meters and like you play any kind of like, not even like Street Fighter, like any kind of like Mark of the Wolf or something like that, like Samurai Showdown. I don't know what the hell's going on. There's a lot of super meters and stuff. I don't know how to do the super attacks.
Yeah.
And you just get fucking killed. And for me, it's just frustrating. And unless you like play the game, you learn the game, then you can kind of start to compete. But to that point, you have to put a lot of time and effort into.
Well, it's like Street Fighter. I made a real go at like getting good at Street Fighter because there's like an actual fighting game scene here, and I started showing up like every week for a while to the point that like they actually knew my name. A couple people there knew my name and like respected me as like no longer being scrubby and like I could win.
The new guy.
Yeah, like I'm just the new guy and like I'd win.
He can hold his own.
Yeah, I'd win like a rounder. I'd win a round, but not like the match kind of thing. And they're like, oh, okay, I guess I have to pay like full attention. Yeah, you got me. Ha ha ha. But it's like
because the people that play fighting games really play fighting games. Like they, you get into it, and it's so easy just to get killed by these pros. And there's such a swing of. You got new guys and you got pros, and there's really nobody in between. Like it's so easy to pick on the new guys, when you're a pro, because you can, all the moves and the combos and how to use the super meter and all this kind of stuff. And there's just that big jump, that gap that I hate personally from playing fighting games, because it's either you spend a lot of time with it and you become awesome and then you have fun, or you just ignore it.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of. I like 3D fighters for sort of that reason, because most of them don't have super meters or like a ton of special moves. It's sort of just knowing how the combos work, and like how to pull off like certain things at certain times.
Yeah, exactly. And that's you still have to learn that stuff.
Yeah,
there's still that learning curve, and I'd rather play something else. Is really what it comes down to. Like I'll dick around with it, I'll play around with it for a little while, but I don't plan on being a pro on this, so I'm not going to spend more than an hour. Play the campaign with one character once. Okay, that was nice.
Yeah, well, the campaigns are such a joke that it's like, oh god. So I do want to show you some of this campaign, though, just because it is...
it's like, what other... So besides just, going through the ranks here, like every other, fighting game, like what else? You said there was a new mode in 5 here?
There was in the last one. So this is the story, and I just want to show you this. I love that it says, gameplay recording has been blocked. It's like, yeah, well, thanks. I take care of that on my own. So
we're streaming it right now, bitch.
Yeah, sorry, I have my own capture card. Yeah, I have my own capture card, asshole. So it starts at like 1 and goes to 2, and then 3, 4, 5. So the way that it works is timeline goes down. So everything that's across on the x-axis is taking place at the same time. Are you following me?
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, all right. Yep.
The problem is that makes sense for, like, if you wanted to do 1 and then 2, and then, like, go to 3 and 4, but then you start getting into stuff like 6, 7, 8, and then it goes back up to 9, which takes place before 6, but directly follows 5.
This is really complicated for a fighting game. Like, there's really no need for this.
Oh, no! There's no fucking need for this at all. And
I'm looking at this screen right here, and it's like, what... Like, this would be crazy, like, for an RPG, let alone a fighting game that...
Oh, and there are no transitions in the storyline.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So, alright, Antarctica, a few days later. Here's a guy, kind of looks like he's doing research. Gets accused of following someone.
Like, what is Team Ninja? I mean, so, okay, they just released, last round here. Like, are they working on anything else? Like, have they announced, like, okay, we're working on the next Ninja Gaiden or something? Is there...
They were, I think? Okay, so you get accused of following her, and then he says you're a sneaky ninja, and then you fight in Antarctica, and this is how she's dressed in a blizzard, by the way.
Like, this guy's got a hat on and his gear on and shit.
Yeah.
How does she get out there? Like, did she walk?
She's a ninja.
Right.
Also, I'm just going to say this right now. She's not wearing much for underwear either. No bra, so her nipples are probably raw. Also, I just want to add, this takes place, like, directly after that. So this scene follows that exactly. But this is, like, 4 story scenes later.
Is this actually called, like, so there's story mode, and then, like, what's the other... Is it just like campaign mode where you just kind of play, play guy 1, beat him, move on to guy 2, beat him, 3?
This is story mode, and then there's like there's like fight mode, which is just kind of like classic arcade, survival, team battle stuff. So yeah, here's this guy who was just accused of following someone, and he's like, I guess you're a ninja? And then gets the shit beat out of him.
By the next ninja.
Well, no, by the first ninja.
Well, by the first ninja, but now we're...
And then this other girl who's not dressed runs out in front of him, and he's like, in his defense, is probably like, hey, you're not dressed to be out here. and then she beats his ass.
This guy should be dead by now, falling off cliffs and just getting beat up. It's
I want to see if I can.
Craziness.
Oh, you ain't seen no crazy.
I mean, I played through like Ninja Gaiden 2 and 3. And like Ninja Gaiden 2, there's like a point where he rides a motorcycle out of an airplane that's, 10,000 feet plus in the air. Lands, like as if nothing, like what is this? What is going on?
No, none of this, and he does get kicked off of ledges a lot. You are right. And but like, none of this story fucking makes any sense in any way. Like,
yeah,
this is Hitomi, the ninja girl that was just in Antarctica, and now she's in the Amazon to do some serious training. And it's like, this is your serious training, fucking stalking the fucking... What? And you're in a temple for some reason? What? Like, none of it makes sense. And, like, at least, like, fucking, fucking 4 didn't even make, America. They're not archaeologists in any way.
And where did they get those hats?
Well, that is the least.
They must have stayed there.
That is the least fucking important question of where they got these outfits. Yeah, New York a few days later. Because apparently this is... I don't know, she's just there.
So she like, the trip from Antarctica to... Where the hell is this at? Like...
Well, that was the Amazon, and now she's in...
The Amazon.
And now she's
the flight alone from Antarctica to the Amazon.
It's not that bad. It's... Like, I mean, that's...
8 hours.
That's... I mean, if we're counting
hours.
Jet lag and stuff.
Right.
And also, climatization. Also, like, these people must have terrible shits.
Oh, yeah.
And, like,
they gotta have, like, bleeding diarrhea.
All the time. And, like, malaria. One of them, like... I wonder if they just call it the Dead or Alive fighting tournament because, like...
If you go to the Amazon, you gotta get yourself some shots before you go.
Yeah.
Like, you have to.
Oh, and now they're in New York City, by the way.
So now we're just fighting in this gym here because that's just what you do.
Well, yeah, and the best part is that, so all of these people just fucking wander around and go, oh, I'm just looking to train. And, literally
Let's just beat the shit out of each other.
Well, you're just like, oh, I'm just looking to train. And then someone bumps into you and goes, oh, I'll fight you. And it's like, oh, okay. And you just beat the shit out of each other. That's
yeah. That's just how it goes. Well, I'm glad that I was able to watch the stream here because now I don't ever have to play. Like, now I know. Now I know about DOA 5 last round, and now I know that I won't be missing anything if I don't play this game. That's my opinion.
You're going to miss this old man groping her.
Really?
Dude, this is... I also, like, I don't know what fucking train in New York City they think they're on.
Yeah, like if there's
That's
like
the world's most Japanese train car. Yeah, so there you go. That's the story mode.
Well, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
Now I know.
You sound upset.
Well, it's no, I'm not. No, I'm not upset. It's just this game. It's not for me. Like if they here, let me put it this way.
This game, it's just, not for me.
If they released this as like a free, Xbox
Oh,
games for gold,
here's the thing. You can download this game for free on PS4 and Xbox One.
Yeah,
There
you
is
got the
no. It is it's called Core Fighters. You get 4 fighters for free, and you can either pay for additional fighters, the ones that you want, or you can pay I think it's like $15 for everyone else, and you can play online.
Yeah, all right.
So you can play online with everyone with 4 fighters.
It's kind of that's that whole free to play kind of mentality.
And it also kind of probably shows you that they are, I can almost guarantee you, making most of their money at this point selling costumes.
Yeah. Well, when you got 1 million costume packs.
And they're all $2 a piece for one costume.
Right, and that's what they're emphasizing. But it's only, give it, a few weeks or whatever, and there'll be a sale, like, costume packs 50% off.
All of these costumes are old.
Which is even awesomer.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, oh god. So, you sound like you're just ready to get out of this shithole.
I'm done. I am done with DOA 5 last round.
So where can they find you, sir?
Go check out mygamer.com. That's where we post everything, reviews, streams. We got the podcast we started up. All the good news, all that kind of good stuff there. So check out mygamer.com. I am at Zach Gaz on Twitter, ZACKGAZ. And you can also check out my personal blog at squallsnake.com.
I am at Gilman on Twitter. My personal website is farms.net. You can check out my podcast that I do aside from the Mygamer one. You can also check out the streams that I archive occasionally there. Costume birthday suit. Fuck you. It's, yeah. Sorry, I was reading comments. Yeah, but so farms.net and at Gilman. I'm also on MyGamer all the time. I do almost everything media related there at this point. Sadly, we do this stream once a week. We are working on getting one
podcast up.
The podcast going once a week. We were going to do it last week. Both you and New Guy ended up getting sick on the same day last week. So that just was not going to happen. We will podcast this week and get that up. And we're working on getting, hopefully, another regular stream going. We're hoping awful games. If not a co-op stream as well. Just let us know.
Let us know what you want to see. We're actually working on some possibly a new site design too. So we're dabbling in that.
Absolutely. We're always interested in what the fans think. All right. So I guess we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, next week, game on.